square. Please tell me that what you're about to do with the Final Fantasy X storyline, line of games, franchise, whatever you want to call it, is not true. Now, I was there for the release of this title. Guides. I had 10.2. I still have the guide. I traded it. I traded any of my things. And most recently, I just picked up the HD Remaster Collection, which has both titles. Now, that being said, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy X, the whole franchise in general. But Final Fantasy X, I love that game. It's in my top 5. 10.2, on the other hand, while it wasn't necessarily that good, the gameplay, I will say, was amazing. The gameplay is what kept me playing that game. The story was mediocre, and there were some things that were missing in that game that made Final Fantasy feel like Final Fantasy. But the battle mechanics and the battle system were phenomenal. Now, you've been having a terrible time, a rocky time, with your 13 series of games, which I picked them all up used except for the first title. And this was gifted to me by my lovely girlfriend for my birthday. But tell me what you're about to do with Final Fantasy X is not true. If this is true, you don't have to worry about me purchasing any more of your Final Fantasy titles. Because the last 3, the 13 games, were garbage. They weren't that impressive. You've been dangling the remake of Final Fantasy VII over everyone's head. And now you're going to ruin a storyline. For those who don't know what Final Fantasy X 2.5 apparently is. Now, when I first heard the story about what this is, I'm like, oh, that's a fanfic. That's not true. But I go on Kotaku and I'm reading forums, and apparently this has been published in Japan. Okay, let me just explain what this nonsense is. The story takes place 2 months after the events of Final Fantasy X-2. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played the Final Fantasy X franchise. Okay, at the end of X-2, Yuna is reunited with Tidus. So this takes place 2 months after that happens. Apparently they get shipwrecked on an island, or whatever. They apparently have sexy time. Tidus then finds a blitz ball afterwards, goes to kick it. It's not a blitz ball. Tidus blows up. His head lands by Yuna. Yuna sees that, she faints, gets back up, and apparently summons Tidus back from the far plane, but something's wrong with him, he's different, and apparently if he finds out how he came back to life, he'll disappear. Her summoning Tidus back from the far plane makes the far plane go nuts, and Sin comes back, as well as a bunch of other dead people. To be continued in a Final Fantasy 13-3. Sin comes back. So what you trying to tell me and the other Final Fantasy X fans out there is that all the stuff that we went through throughout the first title meant nothing. We invested time into this story for nothing. The sacrifices that were made at the end of this meant nothing. You pretty much said that with X-2. because Tidus disappearing was a part of the sacrifice to bring happiness to that world. But this, what you guys are talking about doing with 2.5 and possibly 3 is horrible. I still don't think this is real, but I just gotta make this video in case it's real to let my voice be heard. Someone, please tell me this is fake. Please send me a link to something saying, hey, this is fake, this is not real. Because from the articles I've read, and I'll have one of them in the description plus a video so you can go and check out what this is. This seems to be real. It seems to be a real thing in Japan. No, this is horrible. This is a horrible idea. Sin comes back. Like, gaming nowadays is just bad. So bad. So bad. That is the most ridiculous thing I've read. Like, you almost killed my drive. I've been playing through the collection. The graphics look great. The remastered soundtrack is awesome. Definitely, I don't know. I want to say pick it up, but Square Enix has got me pissed off right now. And I'm late finding this. I was just derping around on the internet when I ran across it, and I'm just like, this is fake. And as I kept searching, it's like, this is a real thing. They really published this in Japan. This is what? It's apparently a novel. Horrible idea. A horrible idea. Square, if this is true, you got problems. Because I'm done. We've been asking, no one's asked you for Final Fantasy X-3, and if they are, you want to know what they're asking you for? Hey, can we get a prequel so we can see the story of Jet, Auron, and Lord Braska, and their travels to go and defeat Sin? That's what people are most likely asking for. If they're saying, hey, we need a X-3. But no one really is begging you for a X-3. People are begging you for a remake of Final Fantasy VII, and you're not producing. You keep dangling it above all of our heads. And if you do this, if you go back and you revisit this title before showing 7 some loves, and don't, please, no one come in this video, 7 is overrated. It doesn't matter. It is one of the most popular Final Fantasies for a reason. It deserves a remake. Well, it's not that groundbreaking. It was just the first one on the PS1, and it was revolutionary, so that's why people like it. The gameplay mechanics really suck. It doesn't matter. People picked it up, people played it, people loved it. It deserves a remake. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. You do this, Square, I'm done. I'm done with you, Square Enix, because you've been choking the life out of Final Fantasy for the longest when you've got all these other games that you could be putting out, like since Enix merged with Square, Valkyrie Profile, where's Parasite Eve, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. You got all these other games. Where's the real sequel to Brave Fencer Musashi? Where's the new Vagrant story at? I'm tired of this trash. I'm done. It's been Omni, and I am out of here. Till next time. Take care of yourselves and each other. Sorry for the random babblage in this video. It's just